Very good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. Prime Minister Fendel Stewart says homeschooling remains an option aside from the traditional classroom, as every child in Barbados is entitled to primary or secondary school education. His comments came in the wake of recent criticism over a highly publicized case involving a Rastafarian boy whose parents are alleging the Ministry of Education is not willing to work with them in finalizing his homeschooling. Prime Minister Stewart was the featured speaker at the 5th Biennial Conference on Higher Education. The parents, who are members of the Rastafari Jah Holy Faith, have reportedly not completed the process. The Prime Minister says the Ministry of Education has a team whose role is to ensure all children who should be in school are there. He reiterates that primary and secondary education are both compulsory.
So the Ministry of Education, as far as I'm aware, has a corps of school attendance officers who roam the streets from week to week to make sure that all of our children who should be in school are there. If I'm wrong on that, the Minister of Education will correct me at the appropriate time. So primary education and secondary education are compulsory. Tertiary education, though, is optional. And that is not a matter for surprise, because by the time you get to the tertiary level, you've also passed the age of majority.
Prime Minister Stewart says the education system should not only prepare Barbadians for the world of work, but also to be good citizens.
It is not the welfare of human beings, other human beings like yourselves, that is regarded as the most highly prized and legitimate end to which we should all direct our efforts. But that means the means to make large sums of money and make those large sums as quickly as possible. That has become the unwholesome but exclusive preoccupation of certain very small segments of our societies. And we cannot afford to allow that category to spread and to grow larger. And if it is not going to grow larger, the education system has to play its own part.
Barbados' high literacy rate has been linked to the presence of the National Library Service. Had it not been for the service, Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth Stephen Lashley says the levels wouldn't be as high as they are now. His comments came during a service at the St. John Parish Church to commemorate 169 years of public library service in Barbados. According to Mr. Lashley, the National Library Service has played a critical role in society,
as it fulfills the very important mission to be a center of excellence, providing comprehensive library services to satisfy the educational, informational, and recreational needs of our community.
Mr. Lashley says significant investments have also been made by government in the service.
We have, of course, the mobile service for the schools. We have about 29 rural schools involved in that program. We have computer access, outreach services. We also have the audiobooks for the visually impaired. And the Leap into the Future, into the Reading Early Childhood Literacy Program started in 2004. That continues to touch the lives of so many children, particularly in the primary and the nursery schools across Barbados. And there's also the Parent is Best, an early reading initiative.
And Reverend Stephanie Ann Weatherburn says knowledge should be accessible in a way which encourages people to interact with it. Reverend Weatherburn also wants to see an oral history program developed in libraries.
This could be helpful in preserving who we are, our culture. Children, we recognize, are attracted to such programs, but adults are as well. And as such, with such a program, our libraries can be informative, but also vibrant and interesting.
Access to the so-called lucrative Baxters Road route when leaving the city has been one of the key demands of PSV owners for some time. And recent talks with Minister of Transport Michael Lashley have provided hope for a likely return. Owners have complained of unfair competition since the state-run transport board is still able to traverse along Baxters Road from the Princess Alice Terminal. Spokesperson for the Joint Committee of the Alliance of Owners of Public Transport and Association of Public Transport Operators, Ingrid King, is telling Barbadians there is nothing to fear with their return. She says owners will insist on excellent standards.
We are making it known to the operators that they're going back out there if they do on the conditions that excellent behavior is expected of them. We have to show to the public that they can trust us with their safety, and we are prepared to do that.
About 20% of men who take the prostate-specific antigen or PSA test provided by the Cancer Support Services may have been saved from an unhappy outcome. That's because they're among the ones who were able to detect early that something was amiss with their prostates. This information from President of Cancer Support Services, Kathy Ann Kelly Springer. She says that's the result of testing over the last 10 years.
I would say that our rate is pretty high. If, for instance, test comes back and is very much elevated, the executive director would not wait. She would pick up the phone and call the person and let the person know, it's a concern. If the person has no immediate physician, then we can always recommend, but we always let the person know, your level is probably a bit too high. We would advise that you make sure you see your physician.
Nurse Mutual Archer has been working with the Cancer Support Services from the inception of the PSA testing program. He's encouraged by the response over the years.
Usually the first part of the year we see lots of men. Usually repeat men that come routinely to get their prostate done. What we would like to see though is more younger persons coming, younger in the context of over 35. Yes, we see repeat ones, but we want to see new ones as well. Those who come for the first time and say, well, you know what, I'm concerned with my prostate. But over the years, yes, we have seen a steady flow of men coming, and that's encouraging. But I think a lot more can be done.
Jasper Griffith and Sam Farrell were among the men who got tested. Jasper says his is preventative, while Sam shared a more personal story.
I would advise every man to come every year and get their prostate test, because it don't make no sense you waiting till something happen, then to be too late. So I come every year and have it done.
My wife passed away 2 years ago from cancer, a rare cancer disease, and in my case, I'm not taking any chances. I'm coming up to make sure, I do the necessary thing at my age. All young men, once they pass the age, what they say, 40 or so, going on, try their best to come out and have it done.
A guardian of the labor movement whose record spans 75 years has partnered with the CBC for Barbados' 50th independence celebrations. It's the Barbados Workers' Union, and this morning the Deputy General Secretary, Destry Jones, expressed her appreciation as the 18th Barbados flag was hoisted.
At a time when we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the birth of Sir Frank this year, Sir Frank Walcott, and Union is also celebrating its 75th anniversary. We celebrated on October 4th. We are extremely proud to be able to join with the CBC in celebrating Barbados' 50th anniversary of independence.
And Secretary of the CBC Division, Yolanda Yard, thanked the BWU for partnering with this independence celebration.
We're very happy and excited to welcome the Barbados Workers' Union to our CBC initiative. The CBC and the BWU have had a long and very good relationship together, and we're glad to have them on board as we're both guardians of our heritage.
It's time for a break now, but when we come back, regional and international news. Stay